I'm Stan Davison. I'm the chair of the Barnet 55 Plus Forum. And in a way, I come to you as an ex-trade unionist, active trade unionist of many years standing, so I can empathise with you very much on your struggle in a straightforward trade union sense. But really, I'm here to talk and to offer support on behalf of the over 55s, but certainly of the older people, who most at a certain age begin to look, and families look for the kind of things that you provide for them, and that to us makes this not just a trade union struggle. It ought to make it a community struggle, and I hope. And I'll do what I can, and I'm sure a number of my members will also assist in that process of trying to make it. And when I say community, this is a time when I personally and others of my colleagues get involved in all sorts of consultations with the local councillors, with the local officers, with government and so on. You know the kind of things, but there's a kind of a remit that says you must consult, and in the consultation we're constantly asked for our views and to assist in the processes of looking after how we can look after people. Well, some of it is made an absolute nonsense when you get a situation like this that comes about. The very things that you require at a certain stage, care homes, providing trained staff, and all that goes with that, being undermined by an act of the kind that says you cannot afford, or you cannot have good wages and conditions for the staff. How on earth can you get decent labour on the basis of that? You see, one of the things that is a driving force, we come across it all the time, and I support it, by the way. There's a general feeling that says people are best cared for at home. And it is a fact that carers in the country as a whole, probably family and probably friends and probably volunteers of all sorts, and they save the country billions of pounds. But there is that moment for many people, there is no choice. They have to go somewhere where they can get the help they cannot get at home. That's the moment when they need the people like yourself. So we got good reason, and Barnet 55 Plus, I can tell you, is a very disparate body. They come from all walks of life in their background, and some of them haven't been too badly off. I take the view that an older person is an older person is an older person, and every one of them at some point begins to feel that they are fragile and vulnerable. It's that area of the vulnerable that is being, not only your wages and condition, it's the vulnerable that's being attacked in this situation. So I think the point where a struggle is not just a trade union struggle and becomes a community struggle is so very important. Having said that, I hope you get a bit more solidarity from amongst the whole trade union movement, because that too is needed. And I'm sure you're onto that one anyway. Older people do matter. It's a good slogan. Carers do matter. Trained, very well trained and well paid carers do matter. That's the logical succession of that slogan. So I join with the others. The tributes on what you've done. I mean, this meeting I think is cracking. I've been on a few demonstrations. We've had the odd local one when we were fighting for the hospital, and this measures up extremely well. I've got to say that it needs a lot more to be done. But tributes is one thing. Solidarity is another one. My forum, as I say, it's a strange, disparate section, and not everybody is an ex-trade unionist like I am. But I do feel, when I've always tried to support it at our meetings, what you're doing and what you're struggling for, I try to get from them a sense of as much support as they in their own terms could give. I don't find it terribly difficult, although I don't think too many of them, as you know, are out on the streets marching with you, but I do sense a real support and a sense of the total unfairness of the draconian cuts that have been made in your wages and condition. They generally consider that, in the day and age we live in, is to be a totally unfair situation. And if fairness is part of the scenario, then you're getting a raw deal. And I think it's good that you're putting up the fight. So there you are. I don't. It's a press here today. That's a pity. I would like to be included in all the all the gestures of goodwill and support. And that if you want to put that in whatever terms, I'm prepared to give a quote on that for the local press, because that's one of the things I'm sure you would do. You'll put a press report in. So I give that. I'm prepared to make that public and go back to my members and say we've got to do a bit more. Thank you very much for that.